Hey everyone, Azalea again. It only took 90 minutes for Blake Lively to suffer her first major courtroom defeat. Just 90 minutes. Things are spiraling fast between Justin Baldoni and Blake, and after this courtroom battle, she might need to rethink everything. Because, let me tell you, things are not looking good for her at all. Not only that, but when both sides were asked if they would consider mediation, they both refused. Interestingly, their reasons for rejecting it were very different. There's a lot to unpack here, so without further delay, let's get into it.
Like anyone else who would be going through a situation where you're accused of something that you did not do and are suffering in a public way, I think it's distressful, to say the least.
As I mentioned earlier, in just a 90-minute court session, Justin scored a major win. And to say that Blake's legal team was caught off guard would be an understatement. Now, while this wasn't the final verdict, it was a significant step in determining how the case will unfold. And based on what we've seen so far, the only reason Blake's lawyers would allow her to proceed with this embarrassment of a lawsuit is if they secretly dislike her. Before diving into the latest developments, let's do a quick recap, because at this point, there have been so many updates that it's hard to keep track. Initially, it was Blake Lively who filed a massive $250 million lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, accusing him of serious misconduct. But Justin wasn't going down without a fight. He fired back with an even bigger $400 million countersuit, accusing Blake of extortion and defamation. He wasn't just playing defense, he went all in. After months of back and forth legal filings, the case finally landed in court, setting the stage for one of Hollywood's most explosive legal battles in recent history.
And certainly more, evidence will come to light and more information will come to light. And I think people will see it in a similar fashion.
From the moment the court session began, Justin's attorney, Brian Freedman, came in ready for war. He didn't just argue, he dismantled. The way Blake's legal team scrambled to keep up was both entertaining and humiliating. They were completely shaken. Remember when Freedman said he was going to sue Blake into oblivion? Yeah, he meant every word. Blake's lawyers were so rattled that they attempted to silence him with a gag order, hoping the judge would prohibit him from making any public statements about the case. And the judge's response? A firm no. The judge outright denied their request, and for good reason. Blake's own legal team had been actively engaging with the media. Unlike in Blake's world, where fairness seems to mean something different, the judge ruled that if she could speak publicly, then so could Justin's team. That was Justin's first major win of the day. And then it got even worse for Blake. Her team continued whining about how Freedman's interviews were making it difficult for them to respond effectively. Every time they tried to speak, Freedman was already ahead of them, dropping another bombshell. They simply couldn't keep up. Once again, the judge wasn't buying it. He shut them down, ruling that Freedman had every right to address the case publicly. Both teams were given the option to agree to stop engaging with the media, but only if both parties complied. Since no one was willing to fully step back, Freedman took that as permission to speak even more. The moment court ended, he immediately addressed the press. But what happened next? That's what really sent Blake's team into a panic. Justin wasn't just fighting this case in court. He took the battle to the internet. As promised, Freedman launched a website dedicated to the case, where he uploaded legal documents, video evidence, and text messages. Essentially, every receipt supporting Justin's claims. When Blake's team found out, they completely lost it. They argued that this could unfairly sway public opinion. But Freedman was ready with a counter-argument. Blake had gone to the New York Times first, giving them an exclusive story that painted Justin in a negative light. Meanwhile, Justin had just 12 hours to respond before the damaging article went public. So why was it okay for Blake to use the media, but not Justin? That argument hit hard, and once again, the judge sided with Justin. Another massive win. Blake then made one last desperate move. She tried to dictate who would question her during her deposition. For those unfamiliar, a deposition is a legal interview where every statement is made under oath. If you lie, it can be used against you in court. Blake was clearly trying to avoid being grilled by freedman, knowing that he wouldn't let anything slide. So, once again, she ran to the judge, demanding that someone else conduct her deposition. And once again, the judge shut it down. She was informed that she had to answer questions from whoever the court assigned. No exceptions, no special treatment. By the time the hearing ended, it was crystal clear. Justin had dominated the day. Every time Blake's team attempted to fight back, they lost. Every effort to control Freedman failed. Instead of stopping him, they only made him stronger. But the worst moment for Blake? When the judge announced that both lawsuits, Blake's $250 million claim and Justin's $400 million counterclaim, would be merged into one case. This meant there would be no drawn-out legal battle. Blake's team clearly wasn't prepared for this, and trust me, this is just the beginning. At this point, Blake needs to ask herself a serious question. Is this battle even worth it anymore? Because if she loses, she's looking at a potential $400 million judgment. That wouldn't just be a financial hit. It would be complete devastation. It's more than she and Ryan Reynolds' combined net worth. Ryan's fortune is estimated at $350 million, while Blake sits at around $30 million. Could it be that Justin knew exactly what he was doing when he hit them with a $400 million countersuit? It's no secret that attorney Freedman plays hardball. Blake could be facing consequences she never saw coming.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation? I guess try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been really harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that.
And speaking of Ryan Reynolds, his role in all of this is something we need to discuss. Because, let's be honest, even the most supportive husband has to be worried about the possibility of losing everything over this legal battle. If Blake loses, it's not just her career at risk, it's their entire empire. This isn't a minor lawsuit that can be brushed aside with a PR apology tour. This could be a financial disaster of epic proportions. If the ruling doesn't go in their favor, they may be forced to sell assets, offload properties, and say goodbye to their status as one of Hollywood's power couples. And let's not forget, Hollywood has a long memory when it comes to financial disasters. Once the industry sees you as a liability, it's game over. Ryan is probably losing sleep over this. At this point, Justin isn't just winning in court, he's winning in the media. With every legal victory, Blake's credibility takes another hit. Right now, she looks desperate, clinging to a case that seems to be slipping through her fingers. If she doesn't find a way to turn things around soon, her career could be over. And let's be honest, who in Hollywood is going to want to work with her after this? Studios don't want this level of controversy. Brands will keep their distance. And no director or producer will risk attaching her to a project knowing it could come with a $400 million legal mess. At this point, Blake isn't just risking money, she's risking her entire legacy. And unless she figures out a way to walk away from this fight, she may be facing the biggest career downfall of her life. Comment your thoughts on this scandal, and like, share, and subscribe for more drama. Stay safe, everyone.